Dustborn is going to be a failure of epic proportions. It really seems like it's going to be the next Saints Row reboot, and while I've talked about this game quite a bit on the channel because every teaser and trailer has looked terrible, now we have journalists coming out saying that the worst types of people on the internet, aka people they don't agree with, are going to be very, very angry at this game. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this is a title that from the first time I heard about it, it made me cringe. This truly seems like it is going to be the worst type of game release, and I always say this, if you like the Saints Row reboot, if you like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, if you enjoy games that are generally filled with DEI and are woke, that's great. I'm glad that you're playing these games. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. There's a few people out there who are supporting these types of titles, but the majority of individuals are cringing at games like this, and that is exactly what Dustborn is. It is a cringe fest, okay? It is an upcoming game that's supposed to feature a strong, diverse cast of characters. It features romances, branching dialogue, but of course there's a combat system. And what does that entail? You are in a world where America's filled with disinformation, and you use words as weapons. I've said this, but if we were talking about a game where it was maybe like a singing mechanic, I don't think it would have been terrible, but highlighting your words are the truth and the enemies are disinformation is just so extremely bad and would not get me hyped for any game, period. And we know that they had focused heavily on the messages that were put into this game. I had made this tweet back in August of 2023 saying the new ultra cringe and woke game on the block, Dustborn, a title where America is filled with disinformation and you use words as weapons, is, quote, inspired by political events that started in 2016. They were talking about how they wanted twists in their story and they loved the idea of weaponized words and ooh, words have the power to change the world. This is so awful. It says, though, the idea behind Dustborn's setting and characters was also influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016. Now, of course, starting in the summer of 2016, we had the formation of things like BLM, and then later into the year, we had Donald Trump being elected, and it says that it continued well today. So they're saying the issues that started in 2016, aka Donald Trump being a political figure, is still bothering them. But really quickly, before we get into the journo who is now trying to defend the game and saying, oh my gosh, it's actually good, it's gonna make people so triggered, let's head on over to the trailers because all of them have gotten ratioed. This was the Dustborn reveal trailer 11 months ago, and it says coming early 2024. It was delayed. Now it's the end of 2024. When I'm uploading this, it is releasing in a couple of weeks on August 20th, which I think was a very bad decision for them because that's the day Black Myth Wukong releases, but it's got 62,000 views sitting at 1,000 likes and 7.8k dislikes, thousands of comments of people saying this looks awful. Words have power. Hits guy with a baseball bat. If you asked AI to make a game based on Twitter, Tumblr, and Deviant, this would be it. This is why we can't see the dislikes. Well, you can if you have a extension, but yeah, I mean, it is true. That's why YouTube doesn't want dislikes anymore. That ESG money will dry one day. I mean, that's all that this game is. It truly is a DEI fest. You've got these cringe-worthy characters. Their designs, in my opinion, are not good. The game aesthetically does not look all that amazing. It doesn't look terrible. I've definitely seen worse art styles, but I just think it's a very specific type of art style that's not going to appeal to a lot of people. Then you have the words hurt, and you've got characters trying to, be nice to each other, and It just really does not look like anything I think a lot of people are going to play. I think it's going to release. It's going to get a couple hundred people actually in game, and that's going to be it. Dustborn's release trailer for months ago has 1.1k likes and 5.6k dislikes, and the comments are filled with people making fun of this game, saying that it is made for Kotaku journos, it's made for activists, and there is going to be no audience for a title like this. And I completely agree. I don't think many people are going to give this a shot. And of course, we know, judging by other game numbers like Concord, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, that these games and the modern audiences they want to try to make them appeal to are constantly failing. I mean, there are a couple hundred people that could be classified in the modern audience category, but it's not enough people to be making games for. And then we have the Dustborn reveal trailer 11 months ago, 759 likes. That's it, not even 1,000, and 7.3k dislikes. And Xbox actually had shut the comments off. The comments are not off on most of their other trailers. This is one of the few that they actually shut the comments off because they were so negative, and there were so many thousands of people saying it just looks like trash. But now we have journalists coming out and saying that this is a game that they knew was going to make the worst people on the internet mad, aka those they don't agree with. You're allowed to have your own opinion. You are allowed to love this game to death. You are allowed to constantly recommend it. You are allowed to buy 100 copies if you want. That's fine. But on the flip side, people should be able to voice how they don't like it, that they think it looks bad, that they think the concept is just not good. Both should be okay. But these types of people don't want there to be an opposition to things like DEI. They simply want to call us racist, sexist, misogynists, and then they want to push us out of the industry, which isn't going to happen. People are not going to stay silent. People are not going to go away just because one or two journalists say they're being a little bit mean. It's the internet, and apparently, they love the concept in the game of words and how, they really do hurt in real life, because that's all we're doing is talking about this game, but our words are hurting them, guys. Boo-hoo. They also said since they discovered the game now and are, of course, whining about it, I'm saying it again, Dustborn deserves your attention. We're only a couple of weeks away from release. Of course people are going to be talking about it. Of course people are going to be pointing and laughing at it, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. Dustborn may end up on the worst games of the year list beside Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Concord, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I'm sure there's 100 other titles, but I think those are kind of the standouts of the year. And there are people in the comments saying things like, this is just an awful game. That's all that it is. The game was obviously made for a certain type of left-leaning people, and this game appeals to a niche audience, so the risk that it won't make profit is not small. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a way that this game is really going to make money unless they spent an extremely small amount of cash on it, which I highly doubt. And they were talking about their preview review, and they basically just say it's amazing, and this is a game that's made for freaks, the broken, the lost, the outcasts, the exiles, and the ones who never quite found a place. So it's definitely not a game for me. I will actually be streaming this at some point. Black Myth Wukong is definitely my #1 priority because that launches on the same day as Dustborn, but I will be giving Dustborn a chance because I play all of these extremely cringeworthy and woke games, so you don't have to spend your money, but you can also point and laugh at it with the community. So make sure to stop by for those streams. I will be, of course, streaming it close to launch, probably not exactly on launch, because again, Black Myth Wukong is definitely going to be a superior game and one that I am looking forward to, unlike something like Dustborn. But I'm sure in the coming weeks we are going to see the media defending this game tooth and nail. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.